We're approaching the business end of Wimbledon 2023 quarterfinals action on this Tennis Tuesday, day 9 at the championships. We're basking in some British sun today with Grand Slam glory on the horizon. Both Iga Swiatek and Novak Djokovic, they're chasing that Paris-London double. Center court takes center stage once again. The fans are sunglassed, sun-hatted, and ready for a big day again on the hill. And we know, too, on the courts. History, it's going to be made today. Spots in the semifinals are on the line. Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Aorangi Hour. Very happy to have you wherever you're watching in the world. Myself, Nick McCarville, alongside Sonia Mirza. Hello, Sonia. How are you? We're ready for a great quarterfinal day, and you can kind of feel the tension, can't you? It's quieter here. This is the practice facility just off of number 1 court. But when it gets quieter, it gets more serious.
It is more serious. And you just feel the aura is changing a little bit, and for the better. I think we have some really exciting matches. We're finally into those 8 players who are, one of them's going to win, and you literally cannot pick a winner, especially on the women's side. There's so many of them out of that 8 that can probably win this tournament. Yeah,
I love that. The women's quarterfinal setup, we have our top 4 seeds are still alive. Obviously, Novak Djokovic chasing more history. Sonia and I are going to talk about all of that, and we're so happy to have you along for it. Let's start with the Cinderella story and the slipper fits for Chris Eubanks, the American, ranked outside the top 100 just a few weeks ago. He wins his first grass court title, his first ATP title just a few weeks ago. And what about this win against Stefanos Tsitsipas? Look at that joy.
But these are the stories you live for. This is what tennis is all about. It gives you opportunities, and you have to grab those opportunities. We saw that in Andreeva yesterday. Unfortunately, she lost, but the 16-year-old. But Christopher Eubanks, it's such a different, contrasting story. He's been on the Challenger Tour. I mean, you can just see how excited he is. It's almost like sometimes when you go through this kind of a journey, you appreciate it more when things don't come as easy as they do. Because the fact is that at 27, I memean, did anyone at the beginning of this week last week say Christopher Eubanks is going to be in the quarterfinal after beating Tsitsipas? I don't think so. But he's proven everybody wrong. He's proven everybody that perseverance is something that can take you through. And I'm so happy because these are the kind of stories that really make you believe in fairy tales.
Yeah, they certainly are. There's the Chris Eubanks. Well, we'll get to it in just a second. Here's what happened yesterday. How about Haddad Maya? You were calling this match. She had to retire due to injury. That was a bummer.
So unfortunate. I mean, it happened in the match, and it didn't actually look like it was anything serious. She literally spasmed as she hit a backhand in that 4th game, and all of a sudden she had 0 movement, and sometimes that can happen. Your back just locks, and it was so unfortunate because she did, I think it had the potential of being one of the very good matches of Wimbledon this year. Obviously, Novak Djokovic doing his thing.
4 sets, 2 days.
4 sets. And, that should make Hubert Hurkacz believe, because he had 3 set points in that first set. And, stranger things could have happened if he would have gotten one of those 3. Ons Jabeur was absolutely flawless. I mean, I agree that Petra Kvitova wasn't nearly at her best yesterday. She just looked out of sorts. She just looked like she was struggling in every way. I mean, she just never seemed like she was into the match. Ons was up 6-love, 4-1, I think.
And serving.
And it could have easily been over in a couple of games, but Kvitova tried to put a comeback. But, Ons was flawless. She really did everything that she needed to. She did enough. I don't think she played over and above that she needed to. Obviously, Petra not playing her best helped. Yeah,
also a win for Carlitos Alcaraz. We'll talk about that. Ons was Ons yesterday, wasn't she? She certainly was. Daniil Medvedev, he got a retirement against Lehechka. Medvedev into his first Wimbledon quarterfinal. That's huge for him. Sabalenka winning. That was easy.
Swiatek, everybody who said they don't like playing on the surface is in the quarterfinal.
They're figuring it out. Chris Eubanks, that story too. How about Holger Rune? I mean, he hasn't been on the grass very many times. That was a big win. A little controversy in the 3rd set tiebreak. And what a comeback. I mean, Mira Andreeva has been such a great story. But Madison Keys, she has the most wins among any women any of the remaining women at Wimbledon. She's got 22 wins here in
Madison
her history.
Keys,
that's big.
That's a personal favorite. She's one of my very close friends, and that's the last tournament I ever played was with Madison, actually, in Dubai. And Madison, I'm so happy for her because I feel like, there were certain things that were expected of Madison, and I think that this is a bit of a resurgence for her as well. And I mean, with the kind of game she has, she really can. Can she go all the way? I mean, she's got an outside chance.
She could. Yeah, she certainly could. Can Jannik Sinner go all the way? This is actually live on the practice court right now, Sonia, and he's walking through some of his warm-ups. And Jannik here, let's take a look at now. He's trying to get into his first Grand Slam semifinal. We'll talk about that. He's taking on Roman Safayan, who's a very low-ranked 92 in the world, but this is a guy that's been waiting to break through. The winner of that gets Rublev or Djokovic.
Sinner's got to love his chances here. He's quietly come here. He's in the quarterfinal. Nobody's almost spoken about him. He's just sort of here. And he's made it to the quarterfinal. He's strolled into it almost, while everybody else, we're talking about the Alcaraz and we're talking about Novak Djokovic, but nobody's talking about Sinner. Yet he's here in the quarterfinal yet again. He's got, in the draw that you can see in front of you, he's got the best draw. He's got the best chance in just on paper. He's got to love his chances here. It's a quarterfinal of a Grand Slam. He's got the experience of playing at this big stage. His opponent doesn't. And, he's obviously an out-and-out favorite here. But Christopher Eubanks has proven to us that other things can happen. So it's going to be a really good match.
It's big stuff there. That's the bottom half that's playing today, actually. Sinner and Safoyan, and then Rublev and Djokovic. Do we give Rublev a chance today against Djokovic? He's beaten him once before, but it was on clay. And also, they met in the Australian Open quarterfinals earlier this year. Rublev, the tough thing is for Rublev, and I'm curious your perspective, is Novak does everything that Andre does, but just a little bit better.
Yeah, just a little bit.
just a lot of it. Just a
little bit. No, if this was a best of 3-set match, I would give, just the way Andre Rublev's been playing. I would give Andre Rublev maybe a 40-60 chance. In a best of 5-set match, Novak Djokovic is a different beast. And in a quarterfinal of a Grand Slam of a best of 5-set match, I don't know if there is someone better on earth right now who plays a better tennis match than him. So the only thing is that Novak Djokovic did play back-to-back. He played the night 2 nights ago. He had to come back and play 2 sets again yesterday. He's not had that day off that he's usually used to. He's played something, he's done something out of the ordinary. So
Sonia's giving those Rublev fans out there, we know there's some of you out there, certainly he's a fan favorite, a chance against Djokovic today. Now, the women's singles draw, we're talking about, gosh, every matchup is just so fascinating, not only for the names on the draw, but also stylistically. The top half plays today, Sonia. Pegula against Vondrousova. Also, Jess Pegula trying to get into her first major semifinal. But wow, all eyes are going to be on center court for Swiatek and Svitolina. They haven't played ever on grass before.
They have never played on grass. They're both not people who love playing on grass, yet they're here in the quarterfinal. It'll be interesting to see how Svitolina is going to pull up after that match that she's played. It was a very physical match against Azarenka. Also, emotionally, it took a lot out of her. She is going to need to be 100% if she has a chance. If she needs to have a chance to beat Iga Swiatek. Vondrousova and Pegula, I mean, you have to go with Jessica Pegula as one of the favorites to go, just because of how solid Jessica is. Jessica is a little bit like Sinner in the women's draw. Nobody talks about her, but yet she's in every 4th round or quarterfinal of every Grand Slam.
Is this her moment?
Maybe. Maybe there's no reason that we shouldn't believe that it is, because she's been playing so well over the last few years, and she's just getting better and better. And I mean, like I said, you can look at the draw and you literally can't pick a winner. I mean, Madison Keys, I definitely think Maddie has a chance here.
Oh, I like this. Sonia's really drumming us up for quarterfinal day. How about a couple legends here on court? Who we got there?
Oh, so good to see Martina Navratilova.
Yeah.
How good. Her zest for life and her zest to just play tennis is something so inspiring. She's been through so much physically, and every time you see her, she's always so positive. I mean, after having 2 bouts of cancer, she's here, she's on the court, She's doing what she loves, and she's such an inspiration.
Yeah, really cool hitting there with Mark Woodford. Of course, Legends gets underway today. Sonia Mirza in the Legends as well. We actually had the chance to catch up with some Legends just this morning.
I've really enjoyed seeing the variety of the quarterfinalists leading up to the quarterfinals. If you see Iga, you see Ons Jabeur, you have the harder hitters like Rybakina, Sabalenka, just to see that kind of match out and to now have I think Ons is playing Rybakina, so like the final of last year, and I think she definitely feels like she came close last year and felt like she had a kind of a missed opportunity, and wants to see how she can do differently, and that's all you have to try to achieve. Is those moments can be very disappointing because you come so close to a big moment, but all you have to work towards is trying to give yourself another opportunity to try and beat those players again and be focused, and so it's great for women's tennis to see all the top seeds in the draw, and yeah, it's now I don't have a crystal ball. There's no kind of I think it's going to be harder for Iga in the next few rounds against the harder hitters on grass. But she's Iga and she's mentally so strong and a fighter and I think it's hard for me to pick one because so much can happen.
The favorite is Djokovic. Just of course with winning the first 2 Grand Slams of the year, but it's just. That guy in a best-of-5 set match, mentally, physically, he's just a beast. He gives you nothing. If you're lucky enough to have a little opportunity, you've got to take it. As we saw against Hurkacz, he could have easily been 2 sets to love down. He's saving set points in both sets and in his 2 sets to love, and it's just so solid.
Rybakina is just amazing. It's complete opposite what I used to play. It's just like all these tall girls, full power. It would be nice if you could see her every now and then, come into the net and close out with a volley, and that would definitely be an addition to her game, which Ons, and that match against Kvitova, wow, that was, it's a past champion, and you completely she completely destroyed her, so that was almost a perfect match she played, so it'll be interesting to watch that rematch from last year.
Watching Iga has been a real pleasure, and I was actually just talking about it before, of just seeing a world number 1 actively improve, continually improve. I find really impressive, because to me that one shows an incredible desire for more, which is always a hard thing when you reach the pinnacle of a sport, and not every world number 1 shows that desire for more. And I think it's reminiscent of seeing the Djokovic, the Nadals, the Rogers, kind of how they were at that stage as well. Obviously, they had each other to push, and I think we are seeing a good group of women also starting to push each other in that way. But for me, I've really enjoyed Iga.
I've been a little pleasantly surprised by Rybakina, and you may say, well, why is that? She was last year's champion. However, she has had quite an interrupted lead up to this year's championships, had to pull out of Roland Garros and was quite ill, didn't play any grass court lead-ups, but I've really been impressed by the form that she's found. Ons Jabeur, I think, put too much pressure on herself last year to try and win this event, and I think the fact that she's stepped back a little bit more in the background, but she's playing phenomenal tennis. The way that she dispatched Kvitova yesterday was just truly impressive. But I love watching the youngsters too. Sad that Andreeva lost in this year's championships, because we all love a story of a junior coming through the draw, but some incredible players, and Swiatek, not necessarily a player that we pick for the title, but I think she's getting pretty close, and I think she is the favourite now.
All right, great insight there from some of the legends of the game. Looking into week 2, we've got quarterfinals today. The Hill already packed, and I'm guessing there's some fashionable people out there on the Hill today, and our very own Morgan Riddle catching up with a few of them on this edition of Threads.
So tell me about what inspired your outfit today, because I know tennis is usually not your sport of choice. Traditionally, on the middle Saturday, Wimbledon attracts athletes from all different sports. Let's go check out what some of them are wearing today. Something in your eyes, I can see it in your eyes. shades, you got the hat, you got the bling.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like I'm ready. I'm ready to watch some matches. So I'm rocking the Wimbledon threads, and then I went with the pants too, because I'm like, feel like tennis swag, you know.
All right, and also, did you guys hear that? Well, welcome. You have a great outfit for us today. Do you have anyone that you look to for fashion inspiration for your outfit?
No, I just was like, something white.
Yeah, Wimbledon white. That's always a really great way to go. And the stripes are actually very Wimbledon too.
I'm going to defer to the boss here. I'll let Tabitha explain her outfit.
Well, I love the gardens and all the plants, so I just wanted something floral, and there's a garden feel.
Wait, where's the bag from?
Origin.
Cool, awesome. Well, I hope you guys have the best day. For my outfit for today, I went with the Wimbledon all-white theme. This dress is from the UK-based brand House of CB, and it has a really beautiful lace detailing and a corset top on it. My earrings are from Shashi, and this bag is from Forward and YSL. Until next time.
All right, we are styling into a new position, actually, here on the Aorangi Hour. Welcome back in, Nick McCarville alongside Sonia Mirza. Thank you for that, Morgan Riddle. And let's keep it fashionable in the tennis sort of things. Christopher Eubanks, he's been in fashion this tournament. How about it? Set the scene for us a little bit. He is a Wimbledon quarterfinalist on debut, and actually this win against Stefanos Tsitsipas was his first ever win over a top 10 player. How did he do it?
He believed.
Yeah.
I mean, that's literally all I can say. I mean, you could just, and honestly, I think he was just enjoying the moment. You could see him, and he was down in that match. He still kept believing. I mean, you can see, you know, his stats over there. He obviously believed that he belongs here. And sometimes when you're playing that challenger circuit, imagine you're playing challengers for years, and all of a sudden you make this breakthrough. You win your first ATP Tour title, and you're like, oh wait, I actually belong here. And there's no reason he shouldn't believe that, because he's playing tennis like he belongs here.
Yeah, and one of the belief factors he was actually talking about is his friendship with Coco Gauff. He also mentioned Donald Young and Naomi Osaka as players who have told him, and he hit 53 winners across 5 sets, that's huge. But he was saying that especially Coco was telling him that you do belong. You have to believe in yourself. I mean, it's weird for us mere mortals, not for you tennis stars. Belief can be that powerful at Wimbledon, in professional tennis?
You know, the mental aspect of the game, of any sport, I think it's not given enough credit. Because I think that everybody knows how to hit a forehand and backhand, whether you're 40 in the world, whether you're 200 in the world, whether you're 1 in the world. Some people can do it a little bit better. Some people can do it with more power, a little consistency, more consistency. But mentally is how you play a point at 5-all deuce is what's going to set you apart. What sets Novak Djokovic apart, even though, you know, Hubie has 3 set points, 6-3, Novak Djokovic believes he's supposed to win that set.
Right.
That's what sets you apart from being a champion to someone who is the greatest ever to someone who's not the greatest ever, but still a very good tennis player. So it's exactly the same thing. And if Coco Gauff is telling you, someone who's obviously seen the heights of Grand Slams at such a young age, I heard Christopher Eubanks got some tips from Kim Clijsters, who's practicing right there. I mean, he obviously believes that women tennis players know a lot of what they're talking about, which is great, right? And it's such a feel-good story, and it's so good to watch.
Yeah, very, very cool for Chris Eubanks also, of course, to win into the quarterfinals. He's going to play Daniil Medvedev tomorrow. Another player who's had such great belief is Holger Rune. And this was really a baseline battle with Grigor Dimitrov. We were talking about how good Dimitrov was playing coming into this match. But Rune, 20 years young, he, capital B, actually all caps, believes that he can beat anyone in the game.
You know, I was on the same team. We were playing a league together, and me and Rune actually were mixed doubles partner for a couple of matches. He's a feisty young boy, and he truly believes that he needs to be the #1 player in the world. Like, that is how he sees himself. He goes up in every match, and even in an exhibition, he wanted to win. That's kind of the commitment that he brings every time he's on the court. You could see that. You can see that he's improving. He's had a great last 6 months. He's been playing really, really well. And I think that, you know, he's so young and he's so good. He's so strong, and he's going to get better. You know, he's going to get better, and we're going to have to put him with the likes of Alcaraz up there.
He's playing Alcaraz next. He said he's very excited about that. And these are actually live pictures of Novak Djokovic getting warmed up, going for that 24th major, doing all the things. Actually, how
with
important
a smile.
Is this with a smile? How important is this today, Sonia, especially because you mentioned those 2 days in a row against Hurkacz?
I honestly, sure, it's out of the ordinary for Novak in a Grand Slam to play 2 days in a row because of various circumstances. But he's the fittest player out there. He's one of the fittest for sure. I don't think that him playing a couple of sets is going to really change the physicality of what's going to happen today. I do think, though, that Andrei Rublev's going to have to play the match of his life today for him to be able to win. And there's no reason that he cannot, because he's obviously been playing really well. Novak Djokovic, I still don't think Novak is playing his best.
That's scary.
That's scary. And he's in the quarterfinal. So he starts playing, he's into gear 2, gear 3 now from the quarterfinal.
The week 2 gears. What about these guys gearing up, leveling up? Eubanks and Safoyan, they're reaching the quarterfinals here in the first year playing Wimbledon. We were talking about the belief for Eubanks. Look at that, 249 winners. And, we do talk about the experience often, but Safoyan against Sinner today, you've got to give the Russian a little bit of a chance because he's playing so loose, and he's had some great wins this tournament.
Look, this is again a mental game. It's how you approach it, right? You either approach it saying, it's my first ever, oh my God, or you approach it saying, I'm here, I'm playing on house money, I have nothing to lose, all the pressure's on Sinner, nobody knows who he is, nobody knows who Safoyan is. They just know he's a debutant who's made the quarterfinal for the first time of Wimbledon. He can approach it in that way and say, nobody expects me to win, I just have to go out there. If I lose, that's fine. If I win, you know what can happen.
Semi-finals at Wimbledon, and Jannik Sinner there. We will talk about as well, Sonia, for Sinner, this has been his ceiling. This has been his mental ceiling, and this has been his tournament ceiling, because if we look at the stats for him in the past at Grand Slams, he hasn't been able to get past a quarterfinal just yet in his career.
Yeah, and he's going to like what he sees in the draw, right? On paper, he's going to like it. And the fact is that I almost think he likes that he's so under the radar. He likes it because nobody is actually paying attention to Jannik Sinner, and Jannik Sinner just keeps going and keeps going with the draw and keeps going through the draw. So he is really someone who's going to continue to like his chances, and I think it's going to be a great match, but I think that Sinner is going to probably come through that one.
Okay, Sonia Mirza saying Sinner the winner today. Let's see what the man himself thinks. We caught up just yesterday with Jannik. Jannik, congratulations. You're back into the quarterfinals here for the second year in a row. Obviously, Novak Djokovic last year. This year, you'll be more of the favored player. But how do you see being into the quarterfinals for the second consecutive year?
For sure it means a lot. A lot of practice behind everything, and obviously having great results, especially in such beautiful tournaments. And obviously, I'm looking forward for the quarterfinals, already focused for tomorrow, and hopefully I can show some good tennis, which is the most important.
You said after your last match that you didn't feel your best on court, or maybe didn't feel the way you wanted to feel. When you face that as a player, whether it's physical or emotional or the conditions, what do you tap into? How do you make sure that you bring your best?
No, for sure is the most important is the right attitude, and especially when you are struggling a little bit, which I was in a couple of difficult situations, and I just tried to play in the right way, trying to win the match, going for it, and this is at the end of the day what I'm trying to do. So as I said, hopefully the next match I can increase my level of tennis, and let's see, but it will be a problem for tomorrow.
Do you have a breathing exercise, or you go back to your notes, or how do you get yourself back to your best?
No, just trying to stay in the present moment, trying to learn from the mistakes I made, because I think that's the right way to improve, and obviously every match has its own story. You have to play every point with the right attitude, with the right way, and I think that's what I'm trying to do.
Jannik, you've had such great success, but you're still only 21. I think people forget that you're this young player. How is it for you to be at Wimbledon and to have these experiences the way that you have?
No, for sure. Let's say this year is a little bit different. Last year I came here without winning one match on grass, so this year I came with a different mentality. I was here a little bit earlier than last year because I didn't play Eastbourne, so I had a lot of time to adapt, especially for these courts. As I said, just enjoying every moment out here, and this is, as I said, the most beautiful place to be. So happy to be here.
Okay, last question, maybe the most serious one, the Carota boys. They've left, right? But are we going to see them again? And also, is it kind of fun to have something like that to distract you from all this serious tennis talk?
Yeah, it is very, very nice to have them, obviously. I haven't met them in person, so I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, I miss them a lot, as I miss them. So it's nice, to have something different. They came up with a brilliant idea, and so hopefully I can see them back. But maybe I have to win the next match to see them. No, I don't know. I'm just trying to stay very focused, and then we see how it goes.
Sure. Well, hopefully you're into the semifinals, and maybe we'll see those boys at the semifinals.
Hopefully. So let's see.
All right, will we see the Carota boys in the coming days? We're going to find out, but let's also find out. We've been talking a lot about how it feels to be out on the grass here at Wimbledon, the championships. Who's better than our own Sania Mirza to walk us onto the grass and feel the playing courts at the championships?
What are we doing?
So if you just put these in, and then you can listen as well.
I just need one. Do I need two?
So
I'm talking to
Nick.
Yeah, I mean, let me finish and let me see how I feel in 40 minutes, and I'll decide.
Sania, first off, how does it feel to be back on the courts of the All England Club?
Oh, it feels amazing. I mean, these are the courts that obviously we dreamt of playing on as children, and who knew I was going to come back here on an invitational event as well after playing here in the main event. Has been amazing.
Okay, so you're mid-practice with Joe Conta, as we can see, but tell us a little bit about the technicalities.
Come on, Joe!
Nice
Joe's
slice.
Not running. Joe's not running.
Okay,
Joanna's
so
making me run here, though.
Yeah, she sure is. So tell us about, it's week 2, right? We're into the second week. How does the grass change over the tournament as it goes?
Look, when you start the week on grass, obviously it's a lot truer, because there's not... So these patches that you see here aren't really there at the beginning of the week. These are like clay patches almost because of the wear and tear and the overuse and the rain and everything. But, at the beginning, the bounce is a lot better. You don't get many bad bounces. These are the best grass courts you can play on in the world, obviously. So, that's how it really changes. And sometimes when it's warm, on warm days, obviously the grass plays faster as well, through the air and on the grass.
Do you remember when you first played on grass? What were the adjustments, or what surprised you about playing on the surface?
Just how the ball really bounces. It's very different to any other surface. And I don't think the first time I played on grass, I could be talking and doing this, what I'm doing.
I mean, you and Joe are hitting the ball pretty well here.
Yeah, we're dying low-key, but we're hitting well.
What does it mean to come back and play the invitational event? I mean, that's a pretty cool honor to have, right?
Yeah, of course. It's a huge honor. And when Wimbledon asked, I mean, obviously, I was so excited. But it also, means that you get to see your friends, you get to see, your compatriots, and Martina's here, Kim's here, Joanna's here. So, we get to have a good time as well and do what we love, play tennis.
Are you and Joe partners? Actually, I should know this.
We are.
Shouldn't I?
Yeah,
Okay.
you should know this, Nick, but yeah, we are.
What's the strategy for the Joe and Sania show?
The strategy is not to get injured and to not make sudden movements.
What's the biggest misconception that people don't understand about grass court tennis, or maybe that you don't think gets talked about enough?
I think the biggest misconception is that you cannot win if you don't serve and volley. Obviously, we have enough people proving that you don't need to actually play serve and volley or quote-unquote perfect grass court tennis to win. You can have a Rafael Nadal who wins, you know, who's a clay court specialist, and you can have Novak Djokovic who's an all-court specialist. So I think that's probably the biggest misconception.
I mean, I would think that maybe you and Joe should ask for a wild card into the main doubles draw.
Oh, really?
No?
Joe, he's asking us to get a wild card in the main doubles draw. A wild card into the main doubles draw? For us, apparently. That's how much tennis you know, Nick. That's not a lot, because if you...
I threw myself under the bus there. Oh, all right, I'm going to leave you there, and we're going to close with a couple more of these. Hey, it's beautiful tennis. Come on. I'm not lying to you. I promise.
I mean, we don't look completely mad, but...
No.
I don't know about beautiful. We look like we played tennis at some point in our lives. That's the one, Joe.
There it is,
yes.
Joe. All right, Sonia, thanks. We got that. Joe wants to know if we got that. I think we got that.
Don't tell her you got it. She's going to want to stop practicing.
Oh, Sonia, thanks for the insight. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Really cool, actually, to be chatting with someone live on a Wimbledon court on the practice grounds here at Aorangi and understand a little bit more how special it is to play on these very grass courts. Okay, I think that was a unique experience for both of us, but especially for you. First time live on a camera, phone call, while playing at Wimbledon?
Yeah, all those things for the first time. It was fun. I was hitting the ball better when I was actually talking to you, and then as soon as you stopped filming...
I said that, and you refuted me.
Yeah, no, as soon as you stopped filming, and then I missed like 3 in a row, and I was like, I think I need a distraction now. After retirement, I can't focus and actually put the ball in the court.
Oh, I mean, it really is special, though, for you, for the legends, yourself included, to be back here at Wimbledon.
You know, as a little girl, you like from India, imagine our dream was always to play Wimbledon. You know, that's what we dreamt of, and everybody thought that we were clowns to actually dream of something that big. So today, to be having played here, having won here, and then to be invited by Wimbledon to come and play is something. It's really truly an honor, and it's special in every way.
Yeah, it certainly is. You know, some of us also dreamed to play at Wimbledon and didn't quite make it, but
you're here.
Yeah, I am here. Indeed, here's a guy that's also here. He's won 23 majors, Novak Djokovic, and Sonia said he's only gearing up in this Wimbledon. Gear 2, Gear 3. Let's actually go ahead and take a look at his journey this tournament. He's going for a 24th major title.
Second man, Djokovic. This is 7-6, 7-6, 7-6, 6-4. Djokovic on the Wimbledon quarterfinals, reacquainted.
I've said it many times, you know, it's the most special feeling that a tennis player can have. I mean, at least from my perspective, you know, going out on the Wimbledon center court, it is the say, holy grail or temple of tennis, really.
Handshake and welcome back.
Every tennis player, when he picks up a racket, he dreams of winning a Grand Slam. So that's why most of the players, when they come to a Grand Slam, they feel extra motivated and inspired to play their best tennis, particularly in Wimbledon, because of the history and tradition we talked about. So of course you're going to have always different opponents with the different game styles, and you have to adjust and adapt depending on who you play against. And I think over the years I've managed to develop the capability to adapt pretty good.
There it is. Yeah. Give me some love.
It was always a dream tournament. When I was a kid, I always wanted to stand on that court and win Wimbledon title. Of course, 7 times a winner here sounds incredible. At the same time, I'm hungry for more. I want to keep going. I'm in quarterfinals, so hopefully I can have another shot at the title.
Okay, from one Wimbledon champion, Novak Djokovic, to actually two Wimbledon champions. Here's Sonia Mirza, and we're joined by Daniela Hantakova. Hi, Danny.
Hey, you.
How are
haven't
you?
seen you for a long time.
Yeah, good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, well,
I think we actually have, do we have some pictures of Daniela's trophy hoist?
Oh, no,
here?
please,
Come on.
please. No.
Yes? Oh, wow, it doesn't even fit the screen, Daniela.
Sonia, how about that?
Who were you playing
I like
with
it. I was playing Gloss Friedel, and okay, so it is quite sad that there are no people, but that was because we had a choice. Oh my gosh, let's not look at this anymore. That feels like another century.
It looks like a baby. Wasn't it another century?
Almost. I was, what was I, 17? Oh, wow. Anyway, so we had a choice because remember that was the year Rafter and Goran finished so late. And so we were like, do you want to go after those guys and risk that it might not happen, or we just play you on court one? And we had so much rain that year that we were like, you know what, let's just go and finish it. So, but yeah, it was fun.
Oh, I love it. Too good. Well, we're happy you're here in the present. We had to bring that up from the past. Let's talk about actually the future later today, and Novak Djokovic taking on Andrei Rublev. We were talking about it earlier today, that Djokovic is really able to do everything a little or a lot better than Rublev. How does Andrei, what's the X factor for Rublev today to try to beat Nole?
Honestly, I think it's going to be so difficult. I mean, Novak is playing so well. Rublev, obviously, with that shot of the tournament and the rally of the tournament, he's got his chances. But to go against this guy, I mean, just look at the way he's moving on the practice court. He's so sharp with his movement. I don't think I've ever seen him so fit, and obviously mentally so committed to not only win here, but US Open. He's got to be thinking about the Golden Slam big time, and he's a perfectionist in everything he does. And I just, with all the respect to Rublev, I just can't see anyone actually. I think he's going to get a few sets from Novak because his game is right up there. He's hitting the ball extremely well, and he's made a great transition from, not really feeling very comfortable on grass, now becoming a great grass court player as well because how much slower the grass is. Yeah. But I still feel like Novak's going to somehow get the job done today.
Somehow he usually does. Okay, is there any chance, especially if Rublev wins that first set and then put some doubt into
You know
Novak's
what I feel
mind?
about this. I already told you. I know.
Come on.
I know you're trying to
Joust
give
with
the
me.
Andrei Rublev fans something, but like I said, if this has to happen, Andrei Rublev needs to play the match of his life.
Right.
Probably the match of the century for him to win in a quarterfinal of best of 5 sets at Wimbledon against Novak Djokovic, when Novak Djokovic is going for what he is gunning for. So I don't think it's going to happen, but if it does happen,
Okay, but
at least that makes two of us more.
Okay, but if Andrei comes up with more shots like, roll the tape, let's go ahead and look at the Bublik shot. He's watching it. Oh, can we listen to this?
Serve.
Go ahead.
And I was thinking for sure he will put pressure on my second serve. He will try to attack. So I need to stay focused, to don't let take him the lead. Like I need to try to play aggressive, to try to be the one who will, from the next shot, will start to take the lead. And in the end, he returned really deep, but I was able to manage to return the ball really well. And I took the lead since the beginning of the point, and I started to play really aggressive side to side till he made really good defense close to the line that he forced me to slow down a bit, and then he played unreal down the line that I was thinking that the point is over, but somehow, yes, I catch it with the falling and the same time hitting, and I make it. When I saw the ball pass and everybody screamed, yes, I believe it. And if you tell me before the shot, I was thinking I will hit probably somewhere on the grass. My reaction when I saw Bublik was similar, like, I don't know how I did it. Because he was like, what is this, how he did it? And I was, I don't know how I did it. Sorry, what is this? I don't know.
Best shot you ever made?
For sure.
I love that from Andrei himself. Okay, so it's going to be a tough one for Andrei today, but that shot of the tournament, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we are just about to go and practice, so we're going to do the same, right?
Yeah.
In a couple of minutes' time. So,
yeah, we'll break a few bones, but we may not see you here tomorrow.
But I just love the Bublik reaction there. That's priceless.
So it is priceless.
And I think he was more aware of what happened than Rublev, because he was still recovering.
But it wasn't even a tennis shot. He knifed it like a squash shot.
A diving knife.
Yeah, it was like a diving knife.
Is there any contention? We can look at the Alcaraz shot now. Mind the gap. He's between the net post and the chair umpire's chair here, and he flicks this backhand winner. I mean, This is a pretty close second.
Obviously, this is very special as well. I just feel like what Rublev had to do with his wrist falling down. We've seen. I mean, this is incredible, but we have seen it before. Thanks, Carlos.
Also, Carlos is a bit of a human highlight reel, right? Like he gives you these shots every day, so you're expecting this from Carlos. You're not expecting a diving knife wash shot from Andre Rublev.
Yeah, exactly. Let's give a chance to someone else there. And he was a little bit more balanced, and he was there earlier. He had so much space in between the ground and the ball that
we are expecting that from Carlos.
The
expectations are too high.
That's what he's set for the expectations. We were talking about expectations around Sinner today, taking on Roman Safoyan, who is pretty unknown, obviously, at this level. But Sinner has not been able to punch through to a Grand Slam semi yet.
And plus, let's not forget, whoever is in the quarterfinals is playing great tennis, especially on grass. So it's not an accident who his opponent is today. Having said that, he's beaten some incredible champions here in the past. To me, Sinner, before, let's say, the clay court season and what happened with him there, I would say Sinner. Carlos, who is the bigger favorite on grass, I take Sinner all day long. The way he was playing in Indian Wells, Miami, the way his game is fitted for this surface like for no one else, and the way he played last year here as well. He is moving better than last year, I would say. He's much more physical, stronger. I think that was one of the emphasis with Darren Cahill, the first two steps being super explosive. So to me, he is going to be a strong favorite. Maybe not this year because he hasn't played that many matches, but looking ahead already for next year, Carlos Sinner, I want to see that final all day long.
Do the players, I want to ask you one thing. Do the players know, we always talk about these stats. I love a good stat, but are they conscious? Would Jannik be like, oh, I still haven't won a Grand Slam quarterfinal?
Jannik knows he hasn't won a Grand Slam quarterfinal. Is he going into the details of the stats? I don't think so. I mean, I don't think I ever went into that, right? I mean, sure, you talk about what's your percentage in your last serve. First serve, I made 60%. I want up to be 70. But you're not going into like major stats because that's just not where you can be mentally. You have to focus on the job at hand. And every player, I mean, we might stand here and talk about Rublev probably not having a chance against Novak, but Rublev believes he has a chance, regardless of what the stats say.
Me too.
Yeah, you and his fans.
No, but that's a golden rule. You can't go into the match not believing that you're going to win. Then you might not as well even bother coming to the side and warming up. That's just a given. But you're so right that those questions are more discussed with us, with the media, than players themselves. Of course, he's aware that it's never been in a semi-final of a slam.
Everyone he knows that. He doesn't need a stat for that. Like, he knows that.
Yeah, but other than that, like, the stats are more for us on the press side.
All right, so interesting to see how that'll unfold. We're going to bid Sonia adieu. Thank you. Good luck today, both in the booth
Good luck.
and on court.
You're filling my shoes. Do make me proud.
She'll try. Let's go ahead and check in on the purple carpet here at Wimbledon.
Tennis. Let's chat tennis. I am so glad that Wimbledon is finally here.
Welcome to Wimbledon. Beautiful day for tennis.
I mean, it's honestly one of my favorite Grand Slams, or my favorite Grand Slam. I shouldn't say that because I'm from America.
I'm so excited to be here. I've never been to Wimbledon before. I watch it every single year.
Excited. I'm on my way. Ticket.
The people that I was coming in through the gate with were just saying, I'm so excited to be here. I'm at Wimbledon. And you could just feel what a thrill it was for them.
If you're going to watch tennis, be at Wimbledon, be in the Royal Box, it doesn't get any better than that.
It's quintessentially British, which is what we love. This is why people all over the world come here, just for the uniqueness of Wimbledon. It's historic.
This is definitely a bucket list thing. If you haven't been here before, this is a place to come for sure.
Look what I found. It's the nation's sweetheart deck. How are you?
Me, hello. Tennis is Andy Murray, obviously, because of where I'm from.
There's something about them playing on grass. It just feels proper and magical to me, you know?
So I actually take tennis lessons. So, I'm just like getting some inspo whilst I'm here.
Being sat in that dressing room, being able to kind of catch eyes with their opposition every now and again as well, and start laying down a few markers before they go out on court. I mean, that's what sport's about. I love it.
Most of the time, the sun is shining. There's strawberries. There's Pims.
I guess since we started shooting Star Wars, that was here, and I moved to London, Wimbledon has been important.
This place, it's just incredible history, and
so many stories.
The last time I was here, I watched Serena Williams, and she's been my hero since I was a kid.
It's an amazing day and it's so close to us as well, so it's good to be here and support it.
They're elite athletes, so it's just amazing.
I love being in centre court and you can hear a pin drop.
You can see an up-and-coming star who might be in centre court in a couple of years or next year. You can discover them, and also you get to see the greats as well, so there's a little bit for everyone.
I don't do well in the sun, like I've got that sort of strawberry, ginger, full-on ginger.
It's the highlight of the summer. It's what since I was a kid, what my summer's been built around is watching this.
There's nowhere like Wimbledon. I mean, there really isn't. I love it.
It's a lovely day.
It's great.
Yeah.
Well, you have been lovely. Thank you. That's all I needed you for. I told you to be quick.
Yeah, you did.
Let's find the bar, shall we?
Let's go.
All right, good stuff there. Excuse me, good stuff there on the purple carpet. How about the purple cap for Iga Swiatek, the world #1, getting ready for a match today, later against Alina Svitolina. And actually, it's 50 years of the WTA this year. Here's Svitolina. She's on the comeback trail, the new mom. And there's so many different roles. Obviously, we talk all about the tennis players themselves, but what about behind the scenes on the WTA and the women's tennis game? And Kiathavang caught up with one of those special female members.
So I'm back on the players' lawn and I'm delighted to be joined by Pam Whitecross, who is the Grand Slam supervisor at this year's championships, but you're also a WTA supervisor year-round. Can you just explain to us what that job entails?
Yes, Anne, thank you. At the Grand Slams, they use WTA and ATP staff and ITF staff to bolster the ranks. And my role here is to be an assistant referee, basically. So Jerry Armstrong is the main referee, and then there's about 7 of us that go out into the field and monitor matches.
Yeah. And have you had any interesting events at this year's championships or at previous championships, or has it been pretty straightforward?
Look, things have been very quiet, fingers crossed so far. That's how we like it. We sit on the sidelines and we mainly go out there if there's a medical timeout. That's what we try and monitor, make sure that the other player is always knowing what's going on. It's not always the injured player, so we're always making sure that the competition is running smoothly.
Yeah, and part of the job is managing requests from the players.
Yes.
Can you just explain to us what that is all about?
Well, exactly. Look, the scheduling is a tricky part, and you'll get requests from players that they may have an injury, they may want to try and start later. At Grand Slams, the halves of the draw are always pretty much set, so sometimes that doesn't work out for them, but they can request a later match in the day if they've got an injury, and that can work out. So yes, that is a tricky part of our role on the tours as well as at Grand Slams. Yeah.
So you're not just a WTA supervisor or Grand Slam supervisor, you're former professional player in your own right, and this year we're celebrating 50 years of the WTA, and Pam, you were there in that room back in 73 at the Gloucester Hotel. Can you talk us through it?
Yes, Anne, I was. 1973 was the first year I was on tour as a young 19-year-old coming from Australia, and I played the English circuit leading up to Wimbledon, managed to get into the main draw of the mixed doubles. And that meant that anyone that was in a draw, the Gloucester Hotel allowed you to stay at the hotel free of charge for as long as you were in the tournament, which was an amazing thing for a youngster like me back then. Anyhow, that's why Billie Jean chose the Gloucester Hotel, because most players were staying there. So there were about 60 of us, met in a room there with Billie Jean, Rosie Cassells, Betty Stover, Françoise Durr, and the WTA was formed. Yeah. So it was quite thrilling, and I can't believe it's been 50 years, but it has been. Yeah. And yes, I was there.
Well, you and all those women in the room have really paved the way for the rest of us and the likes of me to have a career in professional tennis. But, I mean, you've been involved in so many different areas. What have been the biggest changes you've seen?
Yes, well, obviously, I think, Anne, the prize money's been the biggest change. That's been phenomenal, and Billie Jean and the rest of the pioneers. I mean, yes, I was part of it, but they were the leaders. We made up the numbers. I mean, I've got to thank them for my career too. Really, they paved the way. But definitely, the prize money has been the greatest thing. But also the services we provide, the WTA Tour, the services we provide now for players, especially sports sciences area, the physios, the massage area, mental health now. We've got a staff on the WTA Tour of about 150 people. It's also the digital areas, player development, communications, player relations, tournament relations, and it goes on and on. So it's quite amazing. From back in 1973, a staff, I think they started with 4, to now have about 154. It's incredible.
It really is. I mean, women's tennis has come so far, and it is the leader globally in women's sports. My last question is, I mean, with the current group of players, or not just the current group, but those coming through, given what you and others have done to I guess, help us, having this life that we have and being involved in women's tennis, what more do you think they could do to give back to the sport?
Yes, well, look, I think what's springing to my mind is charities. I think helping those that need the help, and that is happening. We do have WTA Foundation, it's now called, and that in areas for underprivileged is really, I think, an area where we need to go. Yes, I think, and a lot of the girls do have their own foundations and help underprivileged in different areas. Yeah, so I think that for me would be something, with the money that they are making to give back to communities, whether it be in their own hometowns or in another country that might need it. I think that's an area that is going to really improve.
Yeah, absolutely. Pam, thank you so much for chatting to us on Aorangi Hour.
Thanks, Anne. It's been great. Thank you.
All right, legendary stuff there from Pam Whitecross, herself a legend, Nick McCarville, myself, alongside Daniela Hantakova. Sonia Mirza has hot-footed her way off to practice, and we're in this warm-up area, which is pretty special. Actually, over your shoulder, Daniil Medvedev. Over my shoulder, Carlos Alcaraz.
Yeah, I'm expecting the medicine ball to come towards us any second. And you know what? When I'm this close to Carlos's warm-ups, I'm so glad that I retired, because some of the stuff he does, I'm like, that would be, first of all, like a serious workout for, I think, all of the rest of us humans. And it's just those exercises. I'm like, where do they come up with them? I mean, the balance and the strength and everything, every single muscle he uses before his warm-ups for the matches, it's quite something. I think as far as, we've seen it all and different kind of workouts and the ways players get ready for matches. But what he does before the match, it's pretty special. It's so tense. And I think one of his biggest strengths is there's another magician in the house. And what a match she played yesterday. That was crazy. Yeah. I mean, some of the shots, talking about highlights of the tournaments, I think on the women's side, we definitely put her up there in top 3, I would say. No, but going back to going back to the warm-ups, it's honestly, to me, one of the most fascinating things, especially about Carlos, is the balance. When he hits his shots, you never kind of see him falling down with his upper body or with his head, and I think it's because of everything he does behind me. And you know what? I want to join them. I'm about to practice myself for the Legends, so I might actually need a couple of those, whatever they do, but I think I would last maybe 1 minute.
I do want to pick your brain a little bit on Iga Swiatek today. We can see her in practice from earlier. Alina Svitolina, they've never played on grass. How's Svitolina going to pull up after that 3-hour match against Azarenka? And have you been impressed with what Swiatek's been able to do?
Nick, I've been so impressed by Swiatek, more than Svitolina, because Svitolina, she's got that fighting spirit so much on the line that she's playing for, and I could kind of see that upset against Azarenka coming, where Swiatek, she never appealed to me as a grass court player really before this tournament, but she's playing better and better, and that intensity she brings to the court, her footwork, yes, maybe the forehand, you wouldn't think, okay, this is a great shot to have on grass, but she gets away with it because of how quick she hits through the ball, and pulling off, being match points down against Belinda, who she played exceptional match herself. It was incredible. So to me, that win is going to give her so much confidence for the rest of the tournament, and she's starting to look like the favorite to me just because of that mental strength.
Okay, we're going to lose you in 1 minute. I just want a real quick tip then on Vondrousova and Pegula.
I think Jess should be always a dark horse on grass because her technique, it's so perfect. She stays down, she hits through the ball. Yes, there's a little bit of spin, but not too much. So, she's an amazing fighter as well. Marketa, although being a lefty herself, that is going to be really another exceptional match. I mean, we have so many today. I mean, it's quarterfinal day, and you look left and right, you're going to get a quality type of play anywhere. So, but yeah, Jess, I love the way she plays on grass, and I think she should believe more because of her wonderful technique that nothing really can go wrong.
All right, so it sounds like a Swiatek Pegula semi that you're setting up there.
Probably. I'm going to lean that way.
All right, you've got a dash because you've got legends today.
Yeah, I wish
Danny.
to stay, but cheers, thank you.
All right, Daniela Antikova, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
She's going to make her way. Gabby can take your microphone. And we've got a lot going on here today at Wimbledon. There's Carlos Alcaraz getting all warmed up. This is actually a lot of what Daniela... Thanks, Danny. See you later. This is a lot of what Daniela's talking about, the fact that Alcaraz and all of these players actually working so hard to get their bodies, everything, every detail is taken care of to make sure that they are, ready and able to play the tennis that they need to play. Andrei Rublev, he's taking on Novak Djokovic later today. Hey, Sonia and Danny, they weren't giving Andrei Rublev a chance. Come on, Andrei. Let's see you battle against Novak. Maybe 5 sets today. What's our order of play? We've been talking all about it today on the Aorangi Hour. Looky here, we're just a half hour away from Iga Swiatek and Alina Svitolina. Also, to follow, Rublev and Djokovic doing battle. That's on center court. We're actually just minutes away from number 1 court getting underway. Also, that's number 1 court in the foreground there. And number 1 court, look at Pegula taking on Vondrousova and Jannik Sinner taking on Roman Safoyin. Those are all for spots in the semifinals of Wimbledon. Big day here, quarterfinal day, trying to get ready for the action, and the crowds are arriving. Novak also getting ready, going to take center stage later today against Rublev. Djokovic now unbeaten across 4 years here at the championships. He has just been so good. He's chasing that 24th major. That would be an all-time record for Novak. Getting those final steps in. It's a busy day here at Wimbledon. I spot a Roberta Vinci there in the foreground of the Players Restaurant. She's playing the Legends. Lots of folks here coming in. The juniors are underway. Obviously, the wheelchair event, that's going to start tomorrow. So much going on. Week 2, it gets more serious on the singles side, but also we see the legends come in, the juniors, the wheelies. Good vibes here at Wimbledon. There we are. That's Aorangi, and this has been a great Aorangi hour as we give you a beautiful bird's eye view. There's the number 1 court. We're going to have a couple quarterfinals there today. And then center court, center stage. Who's going to make the Final Four at Wimbledon? We'll find out, and we'll talk all about it right here tomorrow. See you later.